Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Okay, welcome to the I Remember Like That Movie podcast. Today we are going to preview 2003's Haunted Mansion starring Eddie Murphy. I did not have a Haunted Mansion cup, but I did have they're here. Poltergeist. They're ghosts.
Close enough.
They terrorize a family. What do you remember about the Haunted Mansion?
Almost nothing.
Yeah, me neither.
I know I watched it. I know
Yeah.
I did. But literally, it's like my brain has blocked it from me.
Could have been that bad.
Well, no, I remember liking it.
I remember liking it too.
I don't remember loving it though.
No, I remember it being more of a kid's movie. Like it is a family movie.
It is. It's very much a family movie. So I was like,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
remember watching it. I remember liking it. Can't tell you what the fuck happens in this entire movie.
No. For those listening, this was a movie that we end up picking because we have 3 movies. Each of us pick whatever. If we pick 2 different movies, we go to the default non-picked one. If we pick the same one, we watch it. We pick 2 different movies, and the Haunted Mansion was the
was the reject one.
reject one.
It was the
What-
one neither of us picked.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know Ernest Scared Stupid was one.
Casper, because that was my
And
pick.
yeah, you picked Casper.
Because
And
I was
picked
like,
Ernest.
let's watch a young Christina Ricci and Casper the Ghost, who for some reason had like a hold on preteen girls.
Yeah.
I remember everybody having a crush on him, and I was like, you realize he's a ghost, right? But hey,
Yeah.
who am I to judge?
And it was Christine Ricci.
It was Christina Ricci, yeah.
Was this before Addams Family or?
I think it was before, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, because when was the Addams? Yeah, wait. Now I'm checking because this is gonna. Oh no, it was after the Addams Family.
No, it was after him. So okay.
Yeah, apparently Casper came out in 1995, and Addams Family came out in 1991.
Yeah, I remember the second one being better. Addams Family.
Which one is
Addams
This is
Family Values.
terrible? Family Values. Is that where she goes to summer camp? Where Wednesday goes to summer camp? Because
Yeah.
that is my favorite scene of any movie of all time.
Yeah.
When
I
they're
haven't even
doing
seen
the
the
like
new
play
movie.
at the end.
Or the new TV
I
show.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Looks cool.
No, it looks very cool, and I'm sure Jenna Ortega does a great job as Wednesday. But Christina Ricci,
Yeah, she was cool.
she is my Wednesday.
Yeah. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about
No,
the Haunted Mansion. I love Eddie Murphy. I don't love every Eddie Murphy movie, but I do love Eddie Murphy movies.
I love Eddie Murphy when he plays one character.
Yeah, him or
Yeah.
Axel Foley or 48 Hours, whatever those guys are. Yeah.
Single character. When he starts playing every character,
Oh, you mean like The Night Professor and all that?
yeah,
See, I like that. I like The Night
I
Professor.
I don't mind the
It's
Nutty
funny.
Professor.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember.
It doesn't make me irrationally angry or anything, but it's not something I ever want to rewatch ever. Like, and I never see the title and think, oh, I should check, like watch that. Never.
All right. Well, let's take a look and see if we can jog our memory. First of all, let's go to the box office. Okay, so it opened in 2020, no, yeah, 2003, 2003. So over 20 years ago.
It,
That's what I was trying to get at.
yeah, almost 20 years ago, my friend.
Yeah. And it was opened in 3,122 theaters, and it opened in first place. It had a budget of 90 million. The opening weekend, it took almost 25 million, but it didn't have big legs. It puttered out domestically at 75.8 million. International did 106.
Hmm.
All in all, $182.29 million. So it looks like it broke even. Like it did okay. Like I'm sure, and then there was rentals and sales, and
Yeah, and
so I'm
then
sure it made money back.
and now streaming. So I mean, it was still making money. Just
Yeah, but not what they were hoping because they just did Pirates of the Caribbean,
mhm.
and it did not perform like Pirates of the Caribbean at all.
No, no, it did not.
Okay, so let's go to the tail of the tape. And The Haunted Mansion, like I said, was released in 2003 as a comedy fantasy, rated PG, and comes in at an hour and 28 minutes.
Nice.
Taglines. There is so many taglines that range from horrible to dad jokey. The Reluctant Guest.
No,
Get out.
that's not a tagline.
It's a suggestion. Your future would be in good hands if she had any.
That makes no sense.
No, I think they're talking about Jennifer Tilly there.
Yeah.
He'll be happy to serve you on a plate.
No.
Check your pulse at the door if you have one.
See? Accurate. Good tagline. Good tagline, because that's a generic one that applies to the movie.
Open house.
That's not a fucking tagline.
And this is what, and these
This is
are
fucking terrible.
legitimately what IMDb has been giving me. It has a living room and a dining room,
Oh, that one's pretty good.
2 bathrooms, his and hers.
No,
Comes with a fixed mortgage.
no,
See what I mean?
that's
It's very
that's
dad
very
jokey.
dad joke. Yeah.
With so many ghosts, you're never alone in the dark.
Actually, that one's not bad.
Yeah, that one was bad. All right. Synopsis. Workaholic real estate agent Jim Evers, Eddie Murphy, is accused by his wife, Sarah Marcia Tomlinson,
Mhm.
of neglecting his son, Mark John Jeffries, and daughter, Ari Davis. So he takes the family on a vacation. Along the way, the family stops off at a sinister mansion that Jim has been asked to sell, only to discover it's haunted by Master Gracie, Nathaniel Parker, his stern butler, Ramsley, Terrence Stamp, and 2 other servants who need some help breaking a curse. It's not a great synopsis. I mean,
I mean, I'm not excited about the movie from that synopsis. Let me
no,
put it that way.
no, yeah, no. And the poster, I don't remember this poster. I like the poster.
I like the poster.
I remember the DVD or the DVD when it was in movie
Mhm.
stores. But yeah, that's a good poster. For those listening, it's just Eddie Murphy up top, the front of the mansion doors opening, and it's the fog and the mist and the lights coming out, and then the haunted mansion.
It's
That's
nice.
not bad. Yeah.
I'd go to that
All right.
mansion.
Okay, and that brings us to Rotten Tomatoes.
Dun, dun, dun.
142 critic reviews puts this at 13%. For retrospective, that's 1% less than Nightmare on Elm Street 2010.
Wow,
That's not good.
that's low.
No, and that's a lot of critics too.
Yeah,
100,000 plus audience gives it 31%. That's not
that's
good
better, but
either.
still low.
Yeah. Critic consensus: neither scary nor funny. The Haunted Mansion is as lifeless as the ghost in the movie.
Encouraging.
Mm-hmm. Here's the fresh. At first, I'm like, well, there's not going to be a lot. Well, there's 146, so there was like There's still
that's
almost
not bad.
20 positive reviews to choose from. Go ahead.
Thank you. And it's in its third attempt to bring a theme park attraction to the big screen, those magicians at Disney find another winner with the Haunted Mansion. Debbie Lynn Elias, Behind the Lens.
The Haunted Mansion was made in the spirit of giving everyone in the family something to enjoy together. It's successful at that level. Mike McGranagan, I'll Seed, original score 3 out of 4.
That was passive aggressive. The Haunted Mansion is cheesy fun. Lisa Kennedy, Denver Post.
And the rest were just too wordy.
Mm.
So on to the rotten. I will start. Go on the Disney ride instead. It's over sooner. Neil Minow, Common Sense Media, original score 1 out of 5.
Harsh.
Mm.
The Haunted Mansion is likely the exact movie Disney wanted. Why they or anyone else would want it is another question. Tom Long, Detroit News, original score C-.
The Haunted Mansion won't much entertain older family members, but it might be fun for kids and seems headed for a long run on home video. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, 2.5 out of 4. It's the original score. That's not too bad for a rotten.
That's not too bad. This is a 99-minute commercial for a 3-minute attraction. James Berardinelli, Real Views, original score 2 out of 4.
All right, IMDb.
Let's go.
54,000 user ratings, and it's 5.1 out of 10. So it's almost a 50-50 split, almost. A movie with plenty of heart and even more souls, 10 out of 10. Roblop.
Excellent, fun family film, 9 out of 10. H. Gregor.
For the young and the young at heart, 8 out of 10. Jasny.
Pretty fun Halloween family movie, no matter what reviews say. 7 out of 10. Superhawk 69132.
There you go, Superhawk. I avoided it because I heard it was bad. It's not. 6 out of 10. Cricket Bat.
Not great, but due to its nice visual cinematography, it's not that bad. 5 out of 10. Gavin, the Lord of the Foo? 48 460-297.
I almost didn't put that one in because of the name.
The Lord of the Foo?
Yeah, and all the numbers that follow.
Or the Lord of the Fuh?
Eddie Murphy does not care in the slightest what people think of his acting career. 4 out of 10. Jewel Kinnear.
Bean counters make movies. 3 out of 10. RPS 2.
The Haunted Mansion equals The Sleepy Viewer. 2 out of 10. Zorny.
Check your pulse at the end of this movie. 1 out of 10. Chinatown 74.
All right. Okay, so nothing left to do but to watch and then make a prediction.
Mm-hmm.
You are cordially invited to the historic Gracie Manor, where there's room for the whole family.
Hello? Is anybody here? We're the Evers from Evers and Evers Real Estate.
Master Gracie wishes to discuss his affairs over dinner.
This house has a bit of history to it. And this history haunts these walls.
I don't think it's a good idea to... that people love bathrooms. We should play up the whole toilet angle. I think that'd be best.
From Walt Disney Pictures.
What happened here, Mr. Gracie?
Do you believe in ghosts?
No clue from the past.
She looks like Mom.
That's interesting.
No message from the future.
I am Madame Leota, seer of all.
Oh, that's great. What is that?
Can prepare you for an adventure
Find the key that must be found.
That was easy.
from the beyond.
Hey! I'd really rather stay on the ground. Can I stay on the ground, please? Oh! This is no time to panic. Don't panic.
When will be With what?
For the ride of your afterlife.
You'll kill us all!
Some of us are already dead.
Eddie Murphy.
Dark spirits from the grave come forth.
Don't you make no dark spirits come out while I'm sitting there. Wait till I leave before the dark spirits come out.
The Haunted Mansion.
Okay, that last line was funny. But mostly I just want to see the mansion.
It looks good. It looks like like the effects look really good.
The effects look great.
It looks like Eddie Murphy has one-liners, and
Mm.
I love what's his name there from Princess Bride, and
Wallace Shawn.
yeah, and I love Jennifer Tilly.
Mm.
I like the old guy there, the butler.
Yep.
I-
I'm not
but the
overly
reviews are
optimistic.
so bad. What's that?
I'm not overly optimistic.
No.
I think my review is mostly going to consist of, but the set was incredible.
There were a lot of those in some of the reviews. Like there were 146 reviews, and
Yeah.
I read most of them, and there was a lot of that. Like the sets were good, the special effects were good, and that's where their review ended with the good. This does look like a family movie. I kind of, now that I saw it, I kind of remember going, "Damn, that's back." Now this is back in 2003, kind of being like, "Geez, this is a little scary for little kids," but maybe I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, it was rated PG, so
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
definitely not for like 4-year-olds.
no.
4-year-olds
yeah,
of today, maybe, but
yeah,
4-year-olds back then, no.
yeah. No, my 5-year-old, we got one of those Spirit of Halloween coupons,
Yeah.
and it has a little girl with a knife, but she's dressed up like a little doll. She's giving
Yeah.
like this little cute little weird. Now she's terrified of it. No, I gotta open up the fridge anytime she wants something because it's magnet onto our fridge.
Sorry, that's funny though.
It is kind of funny till you've gone into the fridge 18 times. You get me a drink?
That's what you get for having children's. I think I'm gonna like it as a kids movie. I don't think
Yeah,
it's gonna be this is a great movie, period, or this is a
no.
good movie, period. I think it's gonna be kids will like it, like 8 and 9-year-olds will still find it fun. That's what I think I'm gonna think.
Yeah, this is kind of getting into that where we were last year watching Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah,
It's one of those ones if there's kids to put on, and
yeah,
it's not too bad to sit through. This might be one of those ones where it can come out on Halloween type thing.
yeah. I don't think this is gonna be this is great for everybody movie, you know?
No. Now, are we gonna do the other two?
The other 2 haunted mansions?
Yeah,
I think we totally can.
yeah. Okay, like we're not gonna go through the stuff on
No,
this.
no,
We'll
no.
just do
Like
that as a
just do like
bonus.
bonuses, like
Yeah.
and then we watch the other 2. Let's discuss, compare and
Yeah.
contrast.
So we are going to watch this, and then we're going to we're going to watch the Muppet Haunted Mansion and the
Yes.
brand new Haunted Mansion that just came out this summer with Owen
Yes.
Wilson and Danny DeVito, and then compare all three at the end, kind of as like
Yeah.
a bonus.
Do the review of this and then just kind of have like
Yeah,
bonus content. Haunted mansion bonus content.
yeah. And then it's October. I won't have any trouble putting on 3 Haunted Mansion movies unless they all suck. They'll blow.
Fingers crossed they don't.
Yeah.
Because let's not do that to us.
All right. Well, we are going to go watch the Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy and hope that it does not suck as the
Mm.
critics and
As
critics
the
have said.
majority of the people believe.
Yep. All right, and we will be back to review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Why
Well,
is
hello
that
there.
so on? How's it going? There we go.
It's going okay. How are you?
Better now. Where'd it go? All right. So, have you watched The Haunted Mansion?
Oh boy, have I ever.
Me too. What's your initial thoughts?
This was one of the most boring movies I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
And I've watched like some existential crap. I have watched foreign art films. Like this was just terrible.
Yeah, I don't remember it being
That
like this.
bad.
Yeah, and it wasn't like we'll get into it, like, but um the acting was fine. The effects were
Actually,
great.
Eddie Murphy got on my nerves.
Yeah, he wasn't as funny as
Yeah. His performance wasn't the greatest.
no, but I also feel that if he wasn't in this would have been even worse.
Honestly, this movie probably never should have been made,
No,
to be
no.
perfectly honest.
The set pieces were great.
Oh, the set was gorgeous.
Yeah, and
There's a lot of running around and slapstick for the kids. So if you have like really small kids, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I think that's really the limit because once they're older, there was nothing for them like jokes wise. There was yeah, no, it wasn't. I think the really
yeah,
young kids can kind of deal with the ghosts flying around them and they'll enjoy that, but that's about it.
yeah,
And that hurts my heart a little bit.
yeah, because I remember it being better. I still don't have a haunted mansion. I have a haunted house one though with the Amityville.
Oh, all I have is a little ghost one. Wait, no, you can't see it there. There you go.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. See? Boo.
All right, let's go
All
through
right.
this Disney ride of a movie. Wealthy Edward Gracie meets and falls in love with Elizabeth Henshaw, a mixed race woman of the middle class, at a ball he is throwing at his mansion, Gracie Manor. One night, okay, I don't remember them exploring that she was
This happens over the
mixed
course
race.
of the
The movie?
no, the opening credits. They're
Oh,
telling
okay.
the story through the opening credits. So they have like the pen flying through and different
Yeah.
objects and the candelabras and whatever. And then they're showing images of like the ball and then Gracie reading a note and someone writing a note whose face you don't see, and then someone taking a drink of wine, and then the wine glass falls and they fall.
I remember yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that, but I don't remember anything about her being black being the problem.
No, see, that was never discussed until like 80% into the movie.
Yeah.
90% into the movie. You only
See,
find
I
that out
thought it
at the
was one of
end.
those she is black and we're going to ignore the fact that this was a thing back 100 years ago.
Well, they don't explicitly say
No, because he kind of the butler kind of says lower class.
lower class. That was all that was mentioned.
Yeah.
There was no mention of race or anything like that,
No.
which
No.
I was like, I mean, come on. Let's be real. Also, I was like, was because his grandfather built the house? So
Yes.
my question was, like, did he come over on the Mayflower? Did he come over before the Mayflower? Like,
Yeah.
is this
No, this
supposed to
takes
take place
place
in the
in
1700s?
no, it's 1903.
That don't make no sense
Well,
with the
but
way
this one
everybody's
didn't
dressed.
make a
But
lot of sense.
anyways, it's fine.
Yeah. Because I don't know if the butler was like it was looked down on because she was lower class, and he was like wink wink is because she was black. I didn't know if that's what they were trying to pertain to, but then I kind of just thought it's one of those movies where they ignore it and the
Well,
fact that
they don't say
they
it,
don't
but
address it.
every adult
Yeah,
watching it is like, we know.
yeah, we know.
We're not gonna say it to the kids just yet, but we know.
For an unknown reason, Elizabeth writes a letter to Gracie and commits suicide that very night. Gracie becomes so depressed from her death that he hangs himself in the attic. Okay, I was under the impression that they knew each other for a while. This makes it look like it all happened in one night.
That synopsis is not, they describe the events of the night, like visually on the film, but they don't say how long anybody's been dating in this movie. They don't say when they fell in love. They just said they're in love.
No. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
because
she kills herself. He kills himself, which, by the way, they should have put a fucking warning on that. Because I'm like, if you're
yeah,
saying
he hung himself. Good.
that, all of a sudden you see him hanging there. I'm like, maybe you should have given us a heads up that that was coming.
Like you could have just had someone walk in and see the shadow
Yes.
and hear that
Shadow.
rope, kind of that twisting of the rope
Yeah,
sound,
but no, it's
rocking
straight
back
up
and forth.
him
No, he's
hanging
there.
there. Yeah. I
He's
was like,
hung.
dude, this is supposed to be a kids movie. Fucking Disney just killing everybody.
Yeah. Okay, a century later, Jim and Sarah Evers are successful realtors with 2 children, Michael and Megan. A workaholic with little time for his family, Jim misses his wedding anniversary and tries to make amends by suggesting a vacation to the nearby lake. So this was pretty standard family movie humor with for everyone listening, Eddie Murphy's trying to sell a house. The couple that are interested has the wife wanting it and the husband hemming and hawing. And the actors are very familiar.
Yes.
Like, not that you know their names, but you're like, hey, I know those actors from something else I watched before
Well, I
that had
mean,
actors in it.
if someone had watched Lucifer, the woman plays the therapist, Rachel Harris. That's her name. So people will
I
know
didn't
her
watch
from that.
Lucifer.
Oh, she's in all 5 seasons of Lucifer. So you know who she is. So I was
Right.
like, oh, it's the therapist. I only watched the first couple seasons of Lucifer.
And then Eddie Murphy's wife calls him to make sure that he'll be at the restaurant because it's their anniversary and they have reservations, but he acts like it's another buyer and gets the wife worried, the ones that are
Mm,
buying, and she smacks the husband and threatens divorce, and then he sells the house.
yes.
Then he meets the sellers who want to celebrate. He says just one drink and he finally leaves, and a couple overheard him that he's a realtor and they're looking for a house. Again, all familiar faces.
Yep.
Yeah, like, hey, I know those actors from things I watched that have actors in them. And it's very sitcomish, but fine. It's a family movie. It's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
I was already annoyed with him, though. I'd like to point, I was annoyed with his character at that point already. Because I was
Oh,
like,
you were already?
dude, all you have to do is like, I was like, man, you're going to be that shitty husband. You're going to be that shitty husband. And he was. He really was.
He misses dinner and shows up at home with a teddy bear wearing a very expensive watch. She takes it really well. I mean, he just has to promise a weekend at the lake and she seems fine with it.
Mm,
Very understanding and forgiving neglected wife. He goes to tell the kids. He hears a scream. The son is afraid of spiders. And then Jim, who is Murphy, tries to show him how to kill it. Not for naught. That was a fairly big fucking spider on the window. That
it
was the size of
was.
like a loony or a quarter.
It was a pretty big spider, so I understand the kids' trepidation because I would think that spider was gross too, although I would have no problem killing it. I'm
Yeah.
the official spider killer amongst my friends and family, so I was like, it's fine. Although that entire bit where he's trying to teach his son how to kill the spider as a metaphor for facing your fears, um, I did not like that scene, and it went on entirely too long.
Yeah, because finally the daughter who just walks in and kills a spider.
Mhm.
It had a lot. That spider had a lot in it. Like, it was full. It just ate.
It's a
But
Disney
you get a
spider.
quick, yeah, you get a quick overview of the characters and their characteristics. And
Mhm.
Sarah is contacted by the occupants of Gracie Manor, located in the nearby bayou. Jim, eager to make a deal after learning where the mansion is, takes the family there, meeting its owner. Gracie, his butler Ramsley, and his other 2 servants, maid Emma and footman Ezra.
Mhm.
Again, very standard family comedy as they go into the mansion. I did like the graveyard scene when the kids look at the back and they're like, "Whoa!" And that was a
Yeah.
big graveyard, fucking huge. And then they give it some sort of real estate bullshit. How to word it properly.
Yeah, it was something like family
Ample.
his ample
Yeah.
something. It was
Yeah.
something I was like creative. Nice.
It looked like an entire town was buried there.
Correct.
And then the butler appears at the end of the hall, and then as it starts to storm out and the lightning hits, the light flashes, he appears closer and closer. Pretty standard stuff. The gates opening on their own, the cobwebs everywhere.
Yes.
It all screams haunted to the viewer, but not so much to the Gracie family.
Apparently, because
Oh
they're
no,
not
it's not the
paying
Gracie,
actually,
it's the Evers. Sorry,
the Evers family, yeah. Well, the kids notice. The kids are
the
grossed
kids
out by
notice
the
a bit
house.
more. Mhm.
The mom is enamored with the house itself. Like, she's looking at the architecture. She's like, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Look at this." And Evers is just walking around. Jim.
And she is right. It is a gorgeous house. At the
Oh,
the
it's
set
stunning.
pieces of the movie are fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Like that fireplace. Good God.
It's a stunning set. Absolutely stunning. And I would 100% live in that mansion. Even with ghosts. I'm down.
When a rainstorm floods the nearby river, Gracie lets the family stay for the night. Ramsley takes Jim to the library to discuss the deal with Gracie, but Jim becomes trapped in a secret passage. Gracie gives Sarah a tour of the mansion, discussing his past and his grandfather's death after Elizabeth's suicide. I don't know why Sarah didn't question Mr. Gracie, his entire existence since like his grandfather committed suicide.
Dude. None of this makes sense.
Like if your grandfather committed suicide, how are you here? Did he have children before then? Guess you didn't want to pry.
Well, she's like, "Oh, that's a beautiful love story. Oh, I feel so bad for your grandfather."
Yeah.
And then she just didn't do the math.
No. Megan and Michael follow a spectral orb, braver than I would be, to the attic, where they find a portrait of a woman that bears an almost identical resemblance to Sarah. Emma and Ezra appear and identify the woman as the late Elizabeth. Meanwhile, Jim meets Madame Leota, the ghost of the gypsy whose head is encased in a crystal ball. Like even with Jennifer Tilly, it's like you had such great actors. They didn't do a lot. They weren't given a lot.
No, they weren't. And that's a huge, huge issue for me. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
you have so much incredible talent. Like so much incredible talent available to
Like
you.
they're acting well.
They're
doing
acting
their
well, but
job,
it's the material
but you're
itself.
not giving them anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the material itself. You can tell this was very much a functional script. It was like, here are the story points we need to get from A to B to C to D,
Yeah.
and that's it. And they did that. But
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no, it almost feels like you're on a
The
ride.
ride. Yeah.
Like you're just going from station to station. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
It
and this
looks
is where this
cool.
happens. Looks
Yeah.
amazing. But it's not enough.
No.
It's serviceable, but it's not enough.
He runs into Emma, Ezra, and his children and returns to Leota for answers about Elizabeth's likeness to Sarah. It is then revealed that the mansion's inhabitants are ghosts, cursed a century ago by Elizabeth and Gracie's untimely deaths, and can only enter the afterlife when the lovers are reunited. Sarah is believed to be Elizabeth's reincarnation. Leota sends the Evers to the mansion's cemetery to find a key that will reveal the truth about Elizabeth's death. And here we're introduced to all the ghosts just hanging out. Again, the CGI, the effects, even for a 20-year-old movie, still look great.
Still look good. Definitely looked good.
Yeah, a couple scenes of this were humorous, I guess. Nothing.
The scene in the attic with the kids and then Emma and Ezra with the cookies.
Yeah, that was all right. Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you're like, oh, you're on the brink of being really funny.
Yeah.
But you're just kind of humorous. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
and you
you're
have
so
Wallace
close.
right there. I mean,
Right? I'm like, you could do so much, but they don't. But for the most part, it's just a lot of I think they almost made it like a vehicle for Eddie Murphy,
But then they didn't even let Eddie Murphy
but Eddie Murphy
be Eddie
wasn't.
Murphy,
Yeah,
or he wasn't
he
into it or something.
either he didn't deliver or he wasn't allowed to deliver.
Yeah, he couldn't like.
He fell short through this entire
Yeah,
thing. I did not really
I'd
find
be
him funny.
curious, like, because usually he likes to improvise a lot and go off the
So,
rails a bit, and
yeah,
that's where you get his funniest stuff when you let him go. Maybe they didn't want him to do that,
or
or maybe
maybe
the
he
stuff
was
that he did do was kind of like, no, no,
too
no, no, no,
much.
not in this. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that'll be
think that's
PG-13
probably
or R. Yeah,
I think that's probably a very good guess for us, where he probably was allowed to kind of like improv, and it just either went way south, or he was like, guys, I'm doing this for the yacht. Like,
yeah. Because if you had like an Axel Foley and you had some motherfuckers thrown in there and him screaming and doing what he usually does, this would have been a much better movie.
honestly, this movie could have been even just a like good chunk better if they had made it a running gag for him to have to correct himself when swearing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it would have been where he's like, and then he realizes there are kids there, and he's like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
like, it could
Kept
have been
wanting to do it, kept and
yeah,
trying to and
because there's a
stopping
lot of
himself.
shit being thrown at him, and he's getting flustered, and he's freaking out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it would have been funny to have something like that, but I'm like, I don't know where the disconnect happens, but if he just went straight on script, then I'm like, they didn't use a good resource, first of all,
No.
and that was a shitty script.
Yeah. 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 Eh.
What are you gonna
In a
do?
crypt beneath them. What's that?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Make $100 million movie that no one wants to watch. In a crypt beneath the mausoleum, Jim and Megan find the key, but inadvertently disturb its undead residents. However, they escape with the help of Michael, who overcomes his arachnophobia. Yeah, this, like you just said, him trying not to.
Mm,
You could imagine, like, if that was me, I'd be cursing a lot.
right?
Like,
Like,
you
it
could have had like things dropping and clanging as he's swearing. That's covering it, and his daughter
yeah,
looking at him like,
we'll
"You
talk
can't
about
say
that
that."
later. Like, something like that would have been great. Instead, you have
Yeah,
his daughter literally going underwater in scuzzy crypt water. I'm like, "Ugh,"
yeah,
and then
because
she
you had
comes
the
out.
adventure there. You
The
had
adventure is there.
everything was right there.
It just falls short.
Yeah.
And there's something about it that you're just like, this is so boring.
And then he overcomes his arachnophobia. I did kind of enjoy the scene where the sister's like, "Open the door, I'm gonna kill you," and the dad's trying to be more
Yeah.
um political, but
Encouraging.
like yeah, encouraging him to, and he finally does. Leota leads them to a trunk in the attic, which Jim unlocks to find a letter Elizabeth wrote to Gracie, revealing she truly loved him and wanted to marry him, indicating that she did not commit suicide as everyone believed. Ramsley then appears and reveals he murdered Elizabeth to prevent Gracie from abandoning his heritage, as he believed the relationship was unacceptable. Very racist, Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To hide the truth, Ramsley traps the children in a trunk and physically throws Jim out of the mansion. As Gracie and Sarah rendezvous in the ballroom, she is confused when he asks if she recognizes him, and he insists she is his beloved Elizabeth. The room fills with dancing ghosts as Gracie reveals his ghostly self, but Sarah denies being Elizabeth. This gives Gracie second thoughts, but Ramsley insists that Sarah is Elizabeth, and in time she will remember. Ramsley then blackmails Sarah into marrying Gracie in exchange for her children's safety. Encouraged by Leota, Jim managed to re-enter the mansion, rescues children, and stops Sarah and Gracie's wedding. Yeah.
See,
Again,
here's the problem. When the movie's so boring and the synopsis is literally like there was other stuff that happens, like it's almost like they added time with action,
yeah,
and the action wasn't necessarily part of the story. It was just kind of like, and now we'll make them run around.
yeah, just to fill in some time.
Yeah. It almost felt like that. It felt
But
like
it's
there was a
not
lot
a
of time
long
filler.
movie.
No. which
It
really
seemed like a
concerns
long
me.
movie.
Oh God, did it ever? I was like, Jiminy Crickets, this is so long, and I'm so bored. And then, like, every once in a while, I'd rewind a little bit because I'm like, I think I might have heard something funny. Then I
Yeah.
replay it, and I'm like, no, it wasn't funny.
Yeah. The one line where he draws his sword and Eddie Murphy's like, "You can kill me, but I'm just coming back as a ghost whipping your ass."
Mm,
But that might have been because the movie was so boring that even the slightest bit of humor was like when he told the sphere, Jennifer Tilly's
yeah.
Leota, to hang on, and she's like, with
With
what?
what? Great
Like,
line.
oh, look, humor.
Yeah. That seemed a million times funnier than it actually was. Because I was like, I
Yes.
haven't laughed at anything through this.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
laughed
when
so little.
something even slightly pops up that's humorous, it
Yeah.
really,
It's highlighted.
yeah. He gives Gracie Elizabeth great. Hold on. He gives Gracie Elizabeth's letter, and Ramsley crime is exposed. As Gracie angrily confronts Ramsley, the latter hypocritically rages at his master's apparent selfishness for loving Elizabeth and summons Race to attack the group. However, the truth revealed, a fiery entity emerges from hell through the ballroom fireplace and drags Ramsley down to face eternal punishment. Ramsley attempts to take Jim with him, but he is saved by Gracie. Sarah collapses, having been poisoned by Ramsley during the wedding ceremony, but the spectral orb appears and possesses Sarah. The orb is revealed to be Elizabeth's ghost, who could only be released from her current form once the truth was revealed, and thanks Jim for saving her. Elizabeth and Gracie reunite as Sarah is subsequently revived. With the curse finally lifted, Gracie gives the Evers the deed to the mansion and departs to heaven with Elizabeth, Emma, Ezra, and the mansion's other inhabitants going with them. The Evers head towards the lake for a proper vacation, accompanied by Leota and 4 singing busts that they encountered while searching for the mausoleum, strapped to the back of the car. Like, what did Ramsley think was going to fucking happen once he called upon the entity, and the entity grabbed him and dragged him to hell?
Well, and I'm like, you're gonna curse everybody, and then you're the one that's gonna get sucked into hell. Like,
Yeah.
but he really thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he was
Yes.
making the correct choice for everybody. Because apparently, like, don't get me wrong, turn of the century social standing was a big thing. But at the same time, especially because apparently it takes place in New Orleans, somebody being mixed race wasn't that out of the ordinary. And if you were light skinned enough, it didn't necessarily hamper your ability to be in the upper echelon of society.
Yeah.
If you were dark skinned, it was a whole nother issue. But if you were light skinned enough, because there were so many Creole people and Cajun people kind of intermixed in there.
Right. I did like the part where Elizabeth possesses Sarah, and then
Yeah.
Elizabeth and what's his name make out.
Gracie, yeah. And
Gracie
then
make out.
Eddie's like, it's not your mom. Like, it's not really
Yeah.
your mom. That was like,
And
thank
he's
you.
like, "Excuse me." That wasn't bad.
That was like my fourth
yeah.
laugh in this entire movie.
And it wasn't a very hearty laugh either.
No. I think there's enough movement and almost whimsy for little kids to enjoy this. Like, and I mean really little.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to skip over the opening credits, or at least fast forward through where the hanging man is there.
Yeah.
But I mean, any kid that's just a little bit older, like even a 7 or 8-year-old, they're gonna find this boring.
Yeah. Yeah. And why would you take the singing bus? Like,
Who's
they were
fucking-
annoying. They annoyed
They
him.
were they were
when he
annoying
was
at the
trying to-
house.
Yeah.
They're
let's
annoying
bring
on
him
the
with us.
car.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Leota, sure. Bring her. She's a good time.
And
She'll
why
tell you
did
what the
Ramsey
weather's gonna
not
be like.
burn the letter? They just leave it lying around. So dumb.
You're really stuck on this whole Ramsley thing. You're like,
He's
I don't think he
just
was
a
smart
horrible
enough.
villain. Horrible
Yeah.
villain. Like, come on, put some thought into your dastardly deeds. Okay. So that is our movie. What's your score?
Skip it. You don't need to watch that. Nobody needs to watch this. It's a waste of your time, especially with the other haunted mansions that you could be watching.
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, we'll get that in a minute.
Skip it.
The
Not worth
Haunted
it.
Sorry. My score is The Haunted Mansion isn't a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's not even a good movie. It's a very, very safe movie. The best way to put it is that it is a movie you can watch with your younger kids.
Mm.
Has a few humorous parts. The effects are good. The sets, like the mansion itself, look awesome. The acting is serviceable, but the story is so weak. The script is so weak. The actors in the movie are fantastic. It's just that there's nothing for them to do. I think today's, like, the effects were given more, and that is probably because of when it was made. Like, today, directors and writers weave a decent balance between story and effects, or they try to, not always successful, but the Haunted Mansion could have used more story and less effects. But I think when the movie came out in 2003, Hollywood was still like, "Ooh, look what we can do." And by even that time, it was starting to get old. Because that it just reflects the box office. It was Pirates of the Caribbean that came out that summer, just a couple months before. Jesus Christ. It was very CGI and special effects, but it had a great story.
It also
And
had
their
an
character-
incredible cast.
But so did the Haunted Mansion, and they let their cast,
Pirates of the Caribbean, they let them play.
they gave them stuff to, even the smaller characters were given, like the two goofy pirates, the one that lost his eye all the time. Yeah. And the mean balding guy. Yeah, those guys even had stuff to do.
They
And
were
Johnny
fully-
Depp was
incredible.
let off his leash and let to do anything. Yeah.
Batshit, and I loved it. And everybody had a role, and everybody had meat to their role. They weren't just in service to the movie. Like the cast, you were following the cast in Pirates. In here, in Haunted Mansion, you're following the ride.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
that's
following
it.
the ride
You're
around
following the
house.
ride.
And that is the movie, watching the
Yeah.
special effects.
So
Yeah,
all the
they-
characters are boring, but that's where you're supposed to get and shallow. That's where you're supposed to get your humor. That's where you're supposed to get your drama. That's where you're supposed to get your suspense. But you're getting none of that from them because they're along for the
No.
ride.
The best thing that what is his name there? Wallace Shawn, like, he actually said inconceivable once.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's the thing he said from that movie that he was in.
Honestly, Ezra and Emma,
So
my two favorite
wasted.
characters.
Yeah, well, and like him,
Wasted.
like where they are driving the horse and stuff, and she's like, "You're gonna kill us."
Yes.
And he's like, "Well, some of us are already dead," and he laughs. But that was, yeah, they did the most.
They
but not
had
a
the
lot.
most character.
Yes,
Like, they were so sad. They were the most developed characters.
yeah, and you had Jennifer Tilly, who was so wacky and fun.
Yes.
And you had Terrence Stamp, such an accomplished actor. Like, talk about wanting to have a bad guy. You could have made him, like, he could have been Darth Vader level bad in this movie.
He
But
could
yeah,
have been
so
a million times creepier. He just kind of
yeah,
seemed very two-dimensional. And I'm like,
yeah.
well, I'm not afraid of you. You're just kind of standing there looking weird.
And then you could have had Eddie Murphy if you would have just let him be Eddie Murphy. Even if it was, you got a PG-13, you probably would have had a way better movie.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So, what was I saying here? I would say this is an asterisk. Stream it if it's Halloween and you're stuck trying to find something else to watch with your young kids. But there are so many great, like Monster House, Goosebumps movie, The House with the Clocks, The Addams Families, Hocus Pocus, Scooby-Doo's live action cartoons,
Halloween Town.
I don't know about Halloween. My kids I hate Halloween.
Halloween Town is a classic. I don't care what you say. And there are 3 movies, but the third one we don't count because they recast the main character.
Hotel Transylvania's. We should have
Mm.
watched Ernest Scared Stupid, or we should have watched Casper.
Casper. But we went. But look, now we're doing a service for the peoples, and we are
Yes,
warning
yes.
them. Just because you see this on your Disney Plus, do not click on the Haunted Mansion that has Eddie Murphy.
And
No, no,
that's
no.
that's my asterisk. If you are stuck and you're like, oh, I need another Halloween movie, this is a serviceable movie to put on. But other than that, I say skip
Or
it.
Or if you've already watched 2 or 3 movies with your kids, it's 8 o'clock. You just
Oh, you
want
want
them
them to
to
go to
go to
sleep?
sleep,
Yeah.
put this movie on. You won't have to worry about them sleeping no more.
Yeah. What's that Adam Sandler? Actually, I didn't mind that movie. Hoobly Halloween.
I
So
didn't even
dumb.
bother watching that.
Oh,
I
so
have
dumb. But it was better than this.
I have issues with Adam Sandler. I
Oh, I
only
love
like
Adam
him
Sandler.
I only like him when he's in serious movies he hasn't written.
Oh, oh. You don't like Waterboy?
No.
What?
I don't
50
like water.
First Dates or
Nope.
Wedding Singer?
50
No?
First Dates, I
Really?
was like, this is a huge consent concern.
Yeah, that'd be a great one to watch to go over. That might not fly in today's woke world. Having sex with someone that doesn't remember you.
It shouldn't have flown in that world either.
Well, if you're gonna be weird about it and
It's
all
not like it
politically
came out in the
correct.
1920s. Anyways, yeah, skip this movie.
Yeah, I would skip it. Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
there's an asterisk if you're like you want to go to sleep and that
If
would
you're
be
desperate for time filler, sure, put this on.
yeah.
Whatevs. If you're not like if you want to open your kids' eyes to the beauty of Halloween movies, don't show them
This
this.
isn't it. No,
This is
this
not
isn't
it.
it. Now we're gonna go on to 2 movies quickly and just as bonus material. Now, I've only watched one of them and I am half an hour into the second one. So what I will do is this will actually come out on Sunday. I will film what I decide and insert it right about. No, actually, when we're talking about, I'll insert it
Okay.
a video.
Which one are you only a
But
half an hour into?
the 2023 one, I did watch them. Me and my daughter watched the Muppet one last night,
Mhm.
and then I started watching the 2023 one today, and then I just got busy and I couldn't. I'll tell you this. Just being I think it's only like 20 minutes, 23 minutes.
Mhm.
I am more invested in this movie, and
Mhm.
he just got to the house. He
Dude.
just got to the house and got the 10,000 or the $1,000, whatever it was. That's
Yeah.
that's as far as I got, and I'm already. This is a lot better.
Can
I
I
know it
tell
didn't
you?
get great reviews, but compared to what I just watched, this
Yeah.
was great.
Well, I watched Eddie Murphy's, I'm gonna continue to call it that, Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion yesterday, and I was like,
Well, let's
"Okay, so
go to
then."
the 2023 one, and then you can tell us, and then I'll insert my thing later.
Yeah, 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 we can totally talk about 2023.
Yeah.
This was so good.
So
Like,
many actors in this movie.
so
Great
many
actors.
incredible actors. Like
I haven't even
Lakeith.
seen Danny DeVito yet.
Oh, dude, Danny DeVito, fucking amazing. I laughed way more watching the 2023 one. I actually felt kinda like, I had that little bit of, like, tension in me watching it. Um, so good. Rosario Dawson is amazing in it. Whoever
Yeah,
plays
got a
I
crush
really
on
need to.
Rosario Dawson.
Who doesn't? She is incredible, and I love her
Yeah, she's
forever
pretty
and
awesome.
always. Oh, Chase Dillon plays Rosario Dawson's son,
He's been funny
Travis.
thus far, yeah.
Super fucking cute kid. Such a great actor. Like, really, really good with comedic timing. So good. I
And I loved how she's like, "No, give it a chance, give it a chance." And then the guy in armor, and she's like, "Nope,
Yeah,
we're out of here. Let's go."
that was hilarious. She's like, "Nope, we're going." And then they come right back, and I loved it. Owen Wilson was so good in this. Dan Levy was good in this. Like, every
And Jared Leto actually looks like a villain.
Yes,
I haven't seen them
100%.
yet.
But it's funny because when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, this is great, whatever." And it does a really good job of telling an actual story where the Haunted Mansion is really just the setting of it and not the star of it, which
Yeah.
I really appreciated. Also, the mansion is not as it's stunning, but not as grand as in the OG movie. But
Right.
when Dan Levy shows up, because I didn't realize what his character was gonna be like. I was like, "Oh, sweetie." It's really good. Okay, because the movie is 2 hours long, right?
Yeah, we were gonna watch it, but it's 9 o'clock in a school night, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, we
No,
can't.
no. You can't, but feel free to watch it with your kid, like, tomorrow, because
Oh, that's what. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
it
do.
needs to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was watching, and it was like I saw initially when I first pressed play, I was like, "Oh, it's 2 hours long." And I was like, "Oh," like the other Haunted Mansion was only like an hour and a half. Oh
It wasn't even
god.
quite an hour and a half. It was like
And I
128.
swear, I was
It
like,
felt long.
this movie was so perfectly on pace. It's the perfect pace for telling a story. And every character has a purpose, and every character adds to it. Jamie Lee Curtis, so good as Madame Leota.
Yeah.
Like, just
So for this
so
one,
good.
would you buy it, rent it, skip it, stream it?
Buy this motherfucker.
Oh, really? So the
Mhm.
reviews are wrong.
The reviews are so fucking wrong. Buy it.
Yeah, because what
So
I've seen
good.
thus far, I'm gonna, like I said, I'll insert my thing here before the podcast, but it was great. Like after watching Eddie Murphy one and then this one, I was like, I was getting into it. It was like, I was having fun watching it.
Well, I also watched the Muppet one between Eddie Murphy and this one.
Yes, so
So
did
I
I.
didn't go straight back to back. So when I started watching this one, I was like, "All right, let's see what you got." And then I was like, "Ooh, Keith Stanfield's looking good. How you doing?" And then, you watch a little bit more and you're like, "Huh, wait, the way they told the story keeps you engaged. You wanna know
Yeah,
more about the characters, you wanna know more about the house, you wanna know more about the ghosts. And it's like every piece of the story, it's like a domino setup, like every piece takes you to the next piece of story, and every piece of story is necessary, and it's so well told, and the acting is great, and everybody has such incredible comedic timing. I'm like, "This is" like, nobody falls flat in this. Winona
good.
Ryder
Now I'm excited
does
to
not
watch
fall
it.
flat. Like, even the small parts, they don't fall flat, and you're just like, "Yes!"
I know my
And
daughter and I watched the trailer and she was laughing at he was walking with the candle and then the bad guy was coming and the little candle with the face and he was trying to blow out his own wick. We were giggling at that. So we're excited about watching. And I
it's really
like,
funny.
yeah, so buy it. Okay. And I'll insert my thing right here. And then we'll move
Yes.
on to the Muppets, which I did watch.
Yes.
What did you think about the Muppet one?
I thought it was super cute.
Yeah, it was cute. It wasn't the
Yeah.
best Muppet thing I've ever seen.
No.
But it was all right. It was fun. It was a fun watch.
It was a fun it's only, it's less than an hour long.
Yeah, it was like 54 minutes.
Yeah. There's some singing, there's some dancing, there is some hilarity thrown in there.
Tons of
Um,
cameos
tons of
by
cameos
Muppets and
by
John
Muppets
Stamos.
and John
I don't
Oh
even know what
my
he was
god.
doing there.
He was just at the party, yo. That's it.
Yeah,
He's just the good-looking man at the party. Um, I love Pepe. Pepe's my one of my favorite Muppets.
I really wish
Oh,
Beaker and
yeah.
Professor What's His Name did have a bigger cameo.
We accept what we get, but,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was a super fun one, and I think it'll be something fun, especially for smaller kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, this is the 3, 4, 5-year-olds up to probably, I'd say 6. Once you're getting into 7 and 8, I think they can still appreciate it because I thought it was super cute. I thought it was super funny. Um, like, not I peed myself laughing funny, but I
No. No.
laughed a good chunk while watching it.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
a Muppets fan. I remember the Muppets as a kid. I not when they were first out on TV, but they were in reruns forever. And the
Yeah,
cartoon, the Muppet Babies, and
I
the
watched the
Muppets
Muppet
Take
Babies.
Manhattan, and
Yeah, I think the
the
Muppets Take
Christmas
Manhattan.
Carol.
I watch that every year
Well,
at
they
Christmas.
have the Muppet movie,
Yeah.
the Muppet Caper,
Hmm.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah. I think that was
And
the first
then
movie I ever saw
they
in the
have a
theaters,
resurgence because they had Muppets they did the Muppets with Jason Segel because
which
he's a
was
huge
so
Muppet
good.
fan. Yeah. And then they did the Muppets Most Wanted. There's tons.
Yeah.
Muppets in Space, Muppets Treasure Island,
Yeah.
Muppets Christmas Carol is one of my favorites.
It is so good, and I watch it
Yeah,
every single year. And
it is a good
I
movie.
turn on my fireplace, put on the
Yeah,
Muppets, and that's what I wrap presents to
I
or
would.
bake.
That's a great idea. I would say, yeah, if you're a fan of the Muppets, it's not going to be the best Muppet thing you ever watch, but it's a fun little Muppet 50-minute.
It's a Muppet
It's
special.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, if you really think, if you watch the Muppet Show, which I grew up on watching it in
Yeah, I love the
reruns.
Muppet
Oh
Show. Yeah,
God, it was so good. It's very similar to that. It
yeah.
almost
They
feels like
even
just a
kind of did the same kind of
yeah.
musical opening thing.
It almost feels like a collection of skits. And like Gonzo is kind of, who brings them all together. But I mean, it's a lot of like really great gags, fun little jokes, a little bit of singing, a little bit of dancing. And I'm like, it's a fun 1 hour, when you're just maybe you want to unwind after work. You want to keep the kids busy while you're like trying to cook dinner. Put that on. They'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, but as the 2003 Eddie Murphy, we're both saying skip it.
100%.
Yeah,
Unless you're
there's a
absolutely desperate and you need to keep
desperate for something Halloween, but there's so
yeah,
much Halloween out
so
there.
much Halloween, you don't need it.
Yeah. And we're not even talking about like the special, like the cartoons, like the Disney cartoons and the Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin. And you would have to go through a lot of Halloween shit to be desperate to watch.
True story.
All right. Sorry about that, everybody. But yeah, we saved you. And it's only an hour and 28 minutes, but I think with the context of time, we
Yeah.
saved you probably about 3.5 hours
Yeah.
mentally.
I think we saved them years mentally because if they were to watch it, they'd be haunted by it for years.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
Good
"Hey,
one.
remember
Yeah.
that time we watched the 2003 Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't believe we did that."
I am still haunted from watching 2003, The Haunted Mansion.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah,
And I know a lot
they
of
had
people
everything right there.
everything was
Everything right
available
there.
to them and it all fell flat.
And
And I
instead of
know
giving us funny and a story, they gave us like a lot of those reviews said, a
it's the ride.
99-minute commercial for
The
a
ride.
3-minute ride. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the ride visually.
It is the visual
It's just
ride. Like I'm
yeah.
like, you should have just put me in a chair and rolled me through this movie. But now because we're in October, we're getting closer to Halloween. More and more people are looking for spooky stuff to watch.
Yeah.
This is not what you want to watch. Okay, when this
Mm-mm.
pops up on Disney Plus, you can skip it. Go
Yeah,
with the
there
other
are
haunted mansions.
there are other haunted mansions on Disney that are better.
Yes, and
And
also,
I know I said what I didn't do it, but it's not here yet.
yeah,
I'm already enjoyed the other one 20 minutes in.
honestly, I'd say probably 5 or 10 minutes in. I was
Oh
like, this
yeah.
movie is vastly better than the
Yeah.
original Haunted Mansion. I'm like, there's already layers to the story. I'm already invested in what's happening. I'm like, what happened that now he's drinking at a bar and very unhappy? And why is he doing walking tours? He's an astrophysicist. Like
Yeah.
already, right at the beginning, I was like, tell me more.
Yeah.
I felt
I
none of
laugh
that.
more at Fonzie's stand-up comedy show on the Muppet one than I did with
Oh God, that was great. Oh God. See, and all the cameos of the Muppets, fantastic. But
yeah.
yeah, no, the 2023 Haunted Mansion, so good. Everybody's timing was incredible. There's a lot of adult humor and there's just enough for kids to be able to watch it with no random, people being hung from the rafters, which is nice. Anyways, I
Yeah.
mean, I could go
And
on
you
and
can go
on.
to Netflix and pick the Netflix where it picks a movie for you for Halloween.
Yeah.
They have that thing. And I guarantee you will enjoy whatever Netflix picks for you more than
So
the
much
Haunted
more.
Mansion from 2003.
You know what? I'm dying to know who was the executive in charge of production for that.
Wasn't the Pirates of
Because
the
I'm like,
Caribbean, dude.
we need to have a conversation
Yeah,
about how
because there's
you
probably
managed to fuck this up so bad.
yeah, because they had 2 rides, and then you have the guy above them going, "This ride made $1 billion, and this ride barely broke even." What the fuck happened in between
Yep.
these 2?
Honestly, I really hope that they did like a study on that to be like, okay, where did we go wrong?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have picked a better writer. Maybe we should have, because I was just like, you have so much there. Then you
Yeah.
just
The story was fine
get
too.
out.
The overall story, the characters, the realtors, the way they got there,
Yeah,
everything was fine. It's just
they
the writing, the dialogue was just and
it was dry.
just didn't click at all.
Also something else I wanted to point out on Disney Plus is that they have two kind of background video things for the Haunted Mansion. So one
Oh,
is the dining room for the party, and then the other is Haunted Mansion Enter If You Dare, which is where I got this image. See?
okay. Yeah.
And basically you just play it on your TV. If
Oh,
you're
and
looking for
it
something
just
a little,
sits there.
it's just like a loop,
Yeah.
Dan in the dining room or the ballroom. It's like the lights, the candles light, and they go out and ghosts dancing. This is
Yeah.
just fog with the occasional like
I
lightning and
love that
thunder.
Disney does that. My
Yeah.
5-year-old does the is it Arendelle from Frozen?
Mhm.
She does Arendelle, the fireplace at
Oh
Christmas
yeah,
time. And
that's a
then
good
every now and
fireplace.
again, Olaf comes walking through and
Yes.
talks to you and then goes off and
I'm not gonna lie, this is a little embarrassing, but I'll say it. Why not? Um, when I'm working in December, I sometimes put that on because I have 2 monitors. I'll put it on one of my monitors, and it feels like I'm working by the fire, and then occasionally Olaf walks in, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" You do what you gotta do, alright? You do
yeah,
what you
get through
gotta
your
do. But yeah, 2023, I was like, "This movie was so good. Why did we not talk about it more?" Like,
I'm
why
wondering if it's because you watched 2003.
maybe? But even as a standalone movie, I'm like, "This is just a really good movie."
Yeah, from what I saw, I
Yeah.
was really getting into it. I was
Even if
having
you
fun.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not expecting I just want to have a fun haunted movie that I can watch with my kids. That's what I'm looking for. Not a dull haunted movie that
honestly, you
I'm
will
looking at my
fully enjoy
watch half the
this.
time. Yeah.
Danny DeVito is a delight in this movie too.
I was feeling down today, so I watched a bunch of Always Sunny in Philadelphia clips with
Uh,
Frank. Danny DeVito cheered me right up.
Danny
I
DeVito is
love
awesome.
I love Danny DeVito.
He's super awesome.
He's amazing.
He's so amazing. And his comedic timing is perfect.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
honestly, the 2023 Haunted Mansion, beautiful comedy. It's not overt, it's not like slapstick or gaggy. It's just good. It was like this should have gotten like more fanfare.
I would have been happy if the 2003 had some slapstick.
It had very I
Uh
was like, it made me
anything.
so sad. It
Yeah.
made me so sad. I was like,
Well, there
people
you
treat
have
this
it,
like a
people.
classic, like a
Yeah.
classic. And I'm like, this is people have been watching this for 20 years on
Yeah.
purpose. I feel sad for
No.
them.
Like you think the people that if you watch something over and over, you think of Disney, you think of like Swiss Family Robinson, um, Mary Poppins and stuff.
Yeah.
Not the Haunted Mansion from 2003. That's nowhere even close to.
I think it's just because Disney doesn't or didn't have a lot of like kid friendly Halloween stuff. I don't know if they have
Yeah.
more now. But like Haunted
Mhm.
Mansion was their like Halloween gig.
Yeah. Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No,
Now the new
skip it.
Haunted Mansion or the Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, they're both better.
Both
Yeah.
better. Both so much better.
All right. Well, sorry, people. Or you're welcome, people. We wasted an evening.
Yeah, I
for
think
you.
I gave
The
up an hour
things
and a
we
half of
do
my
to
life so
save
you wouldn't have to.
Yeah, an hour and a half. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that is it. Unless you want to add anything else.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, until the next time we watch a movie that we remember liking. Where the fuck's the button? There it is.